Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a quick rapid review session. I got 3 knives I want to go over, and I recently unboxed them. I've had them here for a few days, and I'm ready to give my overviews on them. My middle finger's a little jacked up from, I don't know what. I don't think it was from flicking, but what are you going to do? The first one here is the Bestech Fairchild. This was sent in by White Mountain Knives. Shout out to White Mountain Knives. Go check them out. Use my code LeftyEDC over there at checkout. Keep an eye on their webpage. They should have the growler going up soon, so you can get on their notify list for that one, for the Devo Knives growler. But shout out to them. They sent me a couple of these that I'm going to go over. This is the Fairchild, and it is an absolute monster. Can't really flick it left-handed unless I get really low. So it's not one that I'm going to rate really highly for a couple reasons. One, it's enormous. Two, it's not lefty-friendly at all. They are making a smaller size one. Will that make a difference? Probably not, but you can see how big this thing is. If you guys know, the Brown Knives FSD is pretty huge, honestly, and the Fairchild is bigger than that. Blade length-wise, just a touch, and there is a little bit of extra handle sticking out there, so it is a big one, guys. Here is a knife you may know, the Brian Brown Knives Jaeger M. And here's another one, the Urban EDC Supply F5.5. I'll also grab the ProTech Knives Mordax, which is a fairly large size knife as well. And it is dwarfing all of these knives. One more just for shits and giggles that I think will be funny. We'll pull out the Urban EDC Supply Baby Barlow. There you go. Very small knife. Can it fit in the handle or in the blade? Can't fit in the blade, but I bet you it can fit in the handle. Yep, it can fit in the handle. Look at that. So, this is a big boy, guys. And it's got this cool bronze finish. I think that's cool. It's got speed holes and a giant lanyard spot. I think they did all that to bring the weight down a little bit. The action feels really good, honestly. They dialed in the detent for this one. It is S35 VN. Wow, that is surprising for this price point. I think it's $300. Is it more than $300? Maybe I'm thinking of a different knife, but yeah, that's a lot of money for S35VN. I just assumed it was going to say M390. This is a combo design. The clip is obnoxious and honestly kills the whole knife for me. I know that that's crazy to say that a clip does that, but look at this. I don't know about you, but this just throws my whole brain off. It just screws with everything, having this extra chunk right here. Yeah, I can tell the blade's centered, but it's just weird to have this big piece sticking off of there. I don't know, it kills it for me. And it's honestly quite ugly. It's got holes in it and whatnot. Just not my favorite, but I love the overall idea of this. It is a bit of a banana. Ow, man, that middle finger really hurts. It's a bit of a banana, which is not really my style, but, you know, ergonomically, up in this grip, it's okay, but honestly, the way my fingers are, my large glove size hand, it just doesn't fit right. It's like my fingers want to be in different places. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't feel right to me. My hand's not big enough to spread this far. And then when I'm in this back grip, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I want my fingers down here and this one up here, but I don't know, it's just awkward, and with the curve, it's kind of like, I think, how the CKF Evo 1.0 felt for me. The 2.0 is perfect, but the 1.0 is just off. So I think this is just made and meant for a larger hand. So maybe when they come out with the smaller one, it'll fit perfectly like, you know, the Evo does. You can see there's a lot of knife sticking out there. If I choke back, you got a lot of knife sticking out the front. So it's a big one, guys. One thing that bugs me about this knife is, try to flick it again, is the bead blast. Why? Why did you do a bead blast on the blade? It's just a cop-out, man, and it kills the knife for me again. Luckily, it's S35, so maybe it'll hold up and you won't have rust issues, but I'm pretty sure I would. So I didn't even carry this because I was afraid I'd rust it instantly, which is usually what happens with bead blasts. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, you can feel that it's not that thin. It has relatively thick stock, but you'd think a blade this tall would come down to a thin edge, but it still feels thick down here. Now, I can't really speak to that because, again, I didn't use it. You know, I can cut some paper here, but this is not your cutting overview. This is kind of just your, you know, action and ergos and whatever overview, whatever you want to call it. It's, you know, it kind of cuts paper, but it feels stupid thick. Now, I will say Bestech doesn't seem to do the best stock edges, but I do have, like, I have this knife from them. This is sort of a new budget line, the Bestech Man Croc Dundee, and that feels really good. I can do the swirlies with it. I have the tonic that Colin designed here. And this one's sort of in between the two there, but I can still kind of do a swirly there. So, I don't know. I just think having that tall of a blade, they could have definitely had a thinner edge. But you know what? It's a giant monster of a knife. Maybe that's not what they were going for. Action-wise, again, this detent is perfect. It really is. If you're right-handed and you like to reverse flick, you're good. If you want a thumb flick, man, it's hard because it's hard to stay off the lock bar. And then left-handed, you can obviously thumb flick, but the reverse flick's hard. You got to be like down here, and you got to just get the right angle to get it out. But the detent, in my opinion, is really good. The closing action, nice, smooth, controlled drop. It's not stupid guillotine-y. I mean, yeah, it'll get you if you don't get out of the way, but it's pretty controlled. It's nice. Not for me, huge-ass knife, but cool. I totally see why people love this knife, and I could definitely appreciate somebody loving this knife, if that makes sense. But I just don't. Next up, we have the WE Knives Soothsayer. And this came in from White Mountain Knives as well. Shout out to them. And this one's sort of an enigma to me. This one has some really cool details and some just absolutely horrible details. One, the design is pretty cool. I actually like the idea of this design. Is it for me? Not really. It's kind of got a sort of muted sway back design to it. It's pretty comfortable in this grip. You can choke up, obviously, but it's not really meant for that. But it is sort of a flipper choil. Feels pretty good. The knife seems a little bit bigger than it should be. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it should be chopped down a little bit. I think it's 3.5-inch blade, and it should be more like 3.25, maybe 3 inches with this design, and it would be nice, you know? Yeah, I don't know. It is a bolster lock design. It does have sort of stout stuff going on. I think that's just because, you know, obviously, this is my knife, but I feel like it's sort of got some stuff going on there. Maybe the bolster lock, the materials, obviously they use the same kind of materials. You have a sort of sheep's footy blade with a bolster lock. I don't know. I see something there, but obviously it's a lot different. You don't have the choil, you don't have the hole, you don't have the poon, you don't have the wire clip, blah, blah, blah. And this is a flipper. So it's a little thinner, obviously. The detent on this, oof. Another WE, just lighter detent. Maybe it's wearing in, but I was failing it real easy before. Look at that. Okay, all right, maybe it's wearing in a little bit, but you do have this fuller to flick, and that is dialed for that. So I feel like they kind of redeemed themselves with that fuller flick, and now I feel kind of dumb because it feels like it's fine. But every other time I've sat and flicked it or carried it or whatever, it felt like a lighter detent. I could easily fail it, but that's me cheating. So, hey, good for them. Flicks out well with the Fuller. I really like it. I mean, gotta say, it's a freaking really good flicker. Now, what kills this knife? The bead blast. Again, why? Stop with the bead blast. Just it automatic kill. Knife killed. I can't own this knife. I can't carry this knife. I will bead blast or I will rust it immediately. I did carry it, I think twice, but I was super careful with it. And I was worried about it, but it was one where I was like, yeah, if I, I'll buy it if I have to or something, But yeah, bead blast just kills it. The clip. I guess it's hard for me to talk shit. People are going to say, well, you put the wire clip on your knife. Well, the wire clip is super functional. It's great for a reversible clip. It can be swapped out with cooler clips if you want the Lynch clip, or I should say milled clips, RGT clip. Again, it's super functional. And I think it matches the design. Like, you can match it to the stuff a little better than this budget clip. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know how to explain. Like, this sits on the scale. Like, I don't know. I just think the wire clip is somehow classier. It's not trying to really do anything else. It's just being a wire clip, which is super ultra functional. I don't know. And I actually like the look of wire clips personally. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I am biased. You guys tell me. But this just looks like a budget clip. And they're probably charging $270 for this thing or whatever, right? Which is, rough. And then, for me, the big killer is the scales. They look phenomenal, by the way. The way they finish this aluminum stuff, compared to what QSP did on our knives, I love this. I think this is better. It kind of has a fat carbon look to it. It basically looks like fat carbon to me. I don't know. But look at the transitions on this thing. They're literally atrocious. I mean, look at those gaps. And then you can see how it sticks out, right? Like, for example, I'll just randomly grab this stout right here. I haven't inspected this or anything. Right? Now, I've carried this, so I guess maybe. But you can just see it. It's a much tighter fit. I'm not feeling anything there. Just much cleaner, in my opinion. Right? You're not... It's... I don't know. This is like... Look at that huge gap. Like, I could freaking park a bus in there. I don't know, that bugs me on a however expensive knife that they let that through like that. I don't know if they're all like that, but I don't know. It literally just kills it for me. So those are my downsides to the knife, but it is a good knife. I mean, they have now apparently has a good detent. It always had a good reverse flake detent. It has their cool internal stop pin design, the beautiful flipper tab that they always crush. I love that flipper tab. The action's good. They're never guillotines, but they're always pretty good. The centering's off on this too. It's off to this side over here. And there's no play. But I haven't taken it apart. So, I could probably loosen that a touch, not have play, and have it center right up. So who knows? Not my knife though, so I'm not messing with it. But so overall, I think the Soothsayer is a cool knife. I think it's interesting. I think it's got some stuff going for it, for sure. So I could totally see why people would get excited for it. But it also has some huge freaking downsides. Bead blast, shitty transitions, the budgety ass clip, and a fucking bead blast that I hate. So that's the Soothsayer. And then lastly, we have the ZT 0230, the Monte Carlo based off of double detent slip joint design. I'm going to call it triple detent actually, from ZT. So you have 1, 2, 3. It's meant to be a slip joint. It has a nail neck right here. Feels nothing like a slip joint. It's not satisfying like a slip joint because you can just bust right through these. Right? It just feels wrong. This knife, in my opinion, would be a home run if it had a spring. If this was a normal slip joint, this would be a home run. As is, it's cool. I think people who don't mind that it doesn't have a spring will be fine with it. I'm trying to see if I can get it all the way closed. Oh. I'm trying to be careful too, obviously. All right. It's got this beautiful carbon fiber. Again, I've said this before. ZT is the only company where I will accept this carbon fiber. I think Urban EDC did it with the F5. I think their carbon fiber was the plain checkered one, and that was really good too. But other than that, I almost never, ever am like, yeah, that looks good when it's this checkered shit. Like, I want, you know, shredded marble or something like that. Or obviously I want any of the fat carbons or camo carbons, the cool shit, right? I don't just want carbon fiber. Another one that did it is the Bestech did it here with the Winter Blade Co. Factor. And this, to me, doesn't look as good as this ZT. I just think ZT does a great job finishing this stuff. So I like that. I do like the little lanyard thing back here. Everything about it is pretty cool. It's just, again, it's just not my style like the Fairchild. It's dead centered. It has a clip, which is really cool. It's really thin pen clip. It is reversible. But again, I want this to have a spring, and I want it to not have a clip. And I was so ready to put it in this slip right here that I ended up putting this Smoky Mountain Knives Apta in, which, by the way, has a spring, and it's $40, and the action is stupid. So good. If they had just done that action on this, I'd be so happy right now. But anyway, I was so ready to put it in here. I even brought it with me on the unboxing and all of that. It was going to be awesome, but they had to put this stupid clip on it. Now, granted, I could probably take it apart, take the clip off, and then, you know, but since it's not a real slip joint, it kind of makes me not want to do that. And it's not my knife, so I'm not going to. Which, by the way, this was loaned in by Blue Creek Knives. So shout out to Blue Creek Knives. You can use the same code LeftyEDC over at bluecreekknives.com/LeftyEDC. But, yeah, I really like this, and I want to love it. I just can't. But it's super comfortable in hand. It looks sexy. I've actually seen videos now of the custom Monte Carlos from Anso. I think they're custom. Somebody was showing me, and they also have the stupid double detent system. They don't even have the half stop, I don't think. They just go from closed to open, which is even worse in my opinion. At least they added the fake half stop here. But like, if it was a slip joint, it'd be amazing. I think I would love it. Just, yeah, the ergos are good, nice and thin. It's got the beautiful blade shape that I want, the sheep's footy blade, but has to have the triple detent. So, clearly I'm hung up on that, but I believe it's in 20 CPM 20 CB. They also go crazy with the billboarding. Nice stone wash. So, again, if you're okay with the triple detent thing and you like having a clip on your slip joint, see, I think what they did here was they went full modern slip joint. They went modern traditional to the limit, where I think when you look at, like, Jack Wolf knives, they went modern traditional, but they kept things pretty traditional. They went traditional on the function, right? You have the spring, you have the kick, all that stuff, right? But they went modern on materials, M390, titanium, fat carbon, right? Where here, they just went full stop. You know, they got rid of the spring and they went to these detents, they added a clip, and they went for the materials, like literally a modern build. It just looks and sort of feels like a traditional. And I think you kind of lose a segment when you do that. So I don't know. But it's cool, and if you're left-handed, you can flick it, because there's the nail nick. You just get the bottom of the nail nick, and you flick it up. So that's one cool thing. If you're left-handed, you can turn this into a sort of... Oh, got it. You can turn it into a fidgety knife. Right? And if you're right-handed, you could probably have somebody add a nail nick for you. That's what I would do. I would probably have this billboarding removed and then add a nail nick here. Maybe get it finished in like a belt satin or something, and then you can do the same. Because you can't, it's really hard to, you can't really flick it. And I doubt you could thumb it. Maybe if you're controlled enough, you could walk it out. See, I can't do that. But I can easily flick it left-handed. So... that's the ZT0230 from Blue Creek Knives. Shout out to them. The Bestech Knives Fairchild from White Mountain Knives. Shout out to them. And again, from White Mountain Knives, the WE Knives Soothsayer. So let me know what you guys think down below about these knives. These are just overviews. I didn't really put a lot of work carrying or using these because they just didn't hit me, you know. If it's not a knife that I really like, I don't spend that much time with it because it's sort of a waste of my time, and this isn't really a job. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. I love you all. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.